Welcome to another episode of Impactpreneurs. I'm one of your hosts, Davrick Lyles, with my other host and friend and colleague,
Sean Alexander.
Right on, man. We're back.
We're back. What's up, bro?
Hey, I'm just trying to keep up with you.
My brain,
I think Sean
I'm trying to slow my brain down tonight, and I can't.
Sean entered the studio running 1,000 miles an hour. He's doing business, multitasking like a fiend, a shark in the water, right?
Sometimes it's hard to just stop your mind when that's happening. Like that's what keeps my mind going into like midnight, and then I only sleep 2 hours.
I know, right?
It stays like this.
And didn't you just get off the?
I just got off the plane yesterday.
Yesterday from Dallas again.
Yeah.
So every time we do the podcast, you're in Dallas doing business, coming back. Like, do you live there now?
No, but that is eventually the goal, to be honest, or to be able to go back and forth 50-50 because there's business going on over there now, and just what I'm seeing within that city.
There's a lot of money there now, isn't there? Isn't there everybody moving there?
Man, it's just a place where like everybody wants to genuinely see each other prosper.
So they're interested in helping others.
Like genuinely. It's not just talk. It's not like we're over here or from Seattle or in California where people say they want to see their friends succeed and help their friends out and, you know, why would you not post your friend's stuff? But that's all surface level shit. They don't really mean that because they don't do it. They don't introduce the people that need to be introduced with each other that could potentially help them, somebody do better or both do better because they want to see their friends win, but they don't want to see their friends win bigger than them if that plausibility exists.
That's a flaw, personality
It's
flaw.
fucked up.
And I saw that a lot in Seattle. I'm starting to see that a lot in Las Vegas.
I see it a lot here.
There's a lot of opportunity here, but the hand, when you reach out, it's like psych.
That's exactly what it is.
And if you specialize in something, I've noticed people won't go to you. This is the problem I had in Seattle. I've been doing the same thing for 25 years with VCs and startups and tech space, and I specialize in it.
Correct.
And once I started spreading my wings and working with clients outside of Seattle and the Bay and Silicon Valley, and I got to other cities, then it was like, oh, call Davrick. But when I was there, best friends, it's like, dude, what? You what? They don't want you to excel and succeed past them. But why is that in certain cities? Is it the environment or the association? Is it the mindset of people? What is it?
I think it's fear. Because what I think it is, because like as they want your limitations to be as small as theirs. Because if they know that like if they have enough awareness to understand that their capacity is only a certain level and what they have the ability to accomplish is at a certain level, they know that currently at this current moment, their cap is like right here, is at 80%, for example. And they want to see their friends win, but if them introducing a friend of theirs to somebody or promoting a friend of theirs that puts their friend at a position that could potentially give them the opportunity to win at 100%, they don't do it because they don't want to see that person get past them.
And that all for one mentality is completely gone.
Completely gone. Which
you know, if you create a team of colleagues, associates, and friends around you, I'm of the firm belief that the pendulum swings both ways.
It comes back around too, because like if like for example, like you sending me some referrals, whether they panned out or not, I knew your heart was in the right place. And some did, some didn't. But in the end, like then I'm bringing it back to you. I introduce you to a private pre-IPO. There's other things that are in the works that you know that I'm 100% going to have you involved in. But that's just because I know you genuinely want to see me excel beyond measures, and I know, and I'm going to want the same thing for you too. Where versus like you could be selfish and be like, all right, I want to see Sean win, but I only want to get to see him go so far because I don't want him to get to that certain market that we're both targeting before me.
Right, but I think that comes with gratitude, of friendship and humility too, right? But I didn't expect anything in return. My mindset isn't like that.
Correct.
I know that by the powers that be, whether it's
a universal law,
biblical universal law, I know it'll come back. It might come from somebody else, but because I did good, here's my good gesture. You know, just not because I'm expecting anything, but you're a colleague and friend, associate. It's like, hey, Sean, here you go.
The thing is, you don't have to expect it because you know that the values and the standards that I withhold, that you withhold, that you know that by default, unnaturally, I will have a way or find a way to bring that back to you. and it might be even great, whether it's greater or not, but I'm going to try to bring it back to you because you did that out of the authenticity in your heart.
Right. Plus, wouldn't you want to see your friends win?
Right, but most people want to see their friends win with a cap.
Okay, then all you have is an entourage. You're paying for everything, right? They're like, follow me, come on, guys. I'm going to pay for your trip, your food, your dinners, your around the world thing. But you can't live like I do because you're in Peasantville and I'm up here living like a king.
Well, it's like this. Like, let's just to make numbers easy. Like, let's say right now you're currently at 80% of whatever your marker is, and you and I are at the same level, and I'm at 70%. You might introduce something or somebody to me that might actually get me to 100% faster than you getting to that 100%. Well, most people are not going to want to see that happen. So by default, you're going to prevent yourself from introducing me to that right person that'll get me to that goal that's at 100%.
That makes no sense why people would not want to do that.
Because you wouldn't want me to get there faster than you.
But why?
It's a selfish thing. Because you know what's funny about that? Because the thing is that you're not going to get there any faster by withholding that referral. Why not let me get there? And I'm going to find a way to pull you up there with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the part where the backwards ass mentality comes in, is people don't think that if you push a friend up to excel past you, well, you best believe that if you got a good friend and if you got a friend of values, that if you push that friend up and they go past you, they're going to reach down and pull you back up with them.
This reminds me of something else. That too, but the other thing I've noticed is I've helped people out of the kindness of my heart, and they've won. And then when you're having a conversation with them, they don't even say anything about you helping them, or they don't even acknowledge. And they
negate it.
They negate it. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I got you. Not that I'm looking for that, but I hear the conversation. Oh, I went in, I killed it, got the deal done, blah blah blah, and I'm like.
But they didn't mention Davrick helped me out and
not that I'm even looking for it, but then I say something. It's like, well, yeah, I'm glad I could help. Well, no, it was me. It's like, first of all, you didn't get that lead. I gave you that lead. I helped you out with your resume. I helped you do the introduction. You went in and did the interview and killed it, but it was set up on a tee. All you had to do was swing and hit the golf ball. You everything was there.
It's really sad because it's the fact that we're even talking about this topic. So I have a friend of mine that's opening up. He owns a series of medical clinics, and he's opening up one in Dallas. And so while I was there, I introduced him to somebody that's going to take him and his business partner in the next year beyond 9 figures, like not just 100 million, but beyond that.
Wow.
Not 10 figures, but it's going to make them 9 figures as soon as they pull that trigger in the new year. And I don't want anything in return. I just genuinely knew that, okay, I got one friend here, I got another friend here, and I know if I bring these 2 friends together and meet, this other friend is going to help my friend with the medical clinic go from 8 figures to multiple 9 figures in the next 6 to 12 months. So I just naturally brought them together, and shit's in the works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And all you want is, hey, thanks. If that, that's not too much to ask.
No, but that's the thing. But then you got people that are the opposite. Oh, well, I don't want to see my friend get to 9 figures, so I'm not going to introduce him to this guy that I know that really can help him get there.
Or even, I haven't went so far as to somebody planting the seed or the idea. I've thrown them a bone. You know what I mean? You know the terminology? Like I've had people say, hey, Dav, you should do this. Whether it's dividends or return, I've helped them out because they gave me that idea. Even though they didn't do an introduction, it's like, hey, I started doing this because you mentioned something. And I'll say, hey, I got something. Oh, don't worry about it. No, I'll take care of you. And I throw the ball back.
Yeah, okay, it's like a bonus in return for like, hey, this idea has made me X, so let me just give you whatever.
But they negate it, or they forget it, or they try to forget it, and then they try to go with somebody else to do what you gave them the idea of. And then they forget about who planted the seed.
I could name that too.
If that's the thing. You're a bearer of fruit and crops, right? And that's what you do. You're a leader, and you're inspiring, right? And if you're planting the seed, and a guy says, "Oh, that's a good idea," and he goes off and makes millions of dollars with somebody else, What are you thinking? Why do people do that? I guess what we're talking about this is because I think I know it's happened to me. I'm not bitter, but I just question the validity of people and where their values are. And it sounds like it's happened to you.
It has happened to me. And the thing is, like, the best way to put it is, and I'm not bitter. It's annoying.
It is annoying.
But there's nothing to be bitter about because I already know what I'm gonna have coming into the new year, for example. But it's more one of those things where being in the business world, we have to, and this is for everybody, anybody that's watching this, you gotta come to a conclusion and understand that some people that you are friends with, that you think you're close with, or that you think respect you, will fuck you over. Like a lot of people almost have an intent to fuck you over when they know they're going to. It just comes with the territory. That comes with the territory of running a business. There is not one business owner that has not been fucked over by somebody that they know in some shape or form. It happens.
Yep.
It's part of the business.
Even with contracts and agreements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because each state has its own set of laws and rules. So I've seen people skate by those. And that's where I feel humility comes in with certain people, right?
Well, okay. Yes. On that context, 100% right. But since you mentioned that, what is the meaning of humility to you?
I would say for me, it's if somebody, I'll give you an example. If somebody says, wow, you're so successful in what you do. It's like, hey, I really appreciate that. I just, I try to do a good job and give back. I don't, I think my intent when I send a message, I posted a message today on Facebook. Okay. And I made it clear. I said, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because I'm trying to get people to see the value of my message without it being about me and me trying to advance myself and better myself and make me look like the man. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I said, you must act quick on opportunities. Don't take too long thinking about the opportunity and sharpening the pencil and never write the message.
Right.
Jump on it. Right. And
Well
I
said.
said, because of this, a decision I made, because a year ago today, me and my girlfriend and my kids were here eating at the Bellagio in front of the fountains.
Right.
And it came up on Facebook. And I
Okay.
said, we left, and I said, we need to move to Vegas. And I put earnest money down in October. Well, I got friends in Seattle who've been talking about it for years and years and years, and they're like, oh, maybe next year I'm going to look. Dude, you're missing the power wave. You're missing the upward mobility of the real estate market.
Right.
And now we're in this kind of this inflation market, maybe.
It's mega inflated.
Yeah, and right now everybody's kind of like, well, okay, wait a minute, what's going to happen in 2022? And so I said, I'm not saying this to brag, but this is the equity. Because somebody got to show people.
Yeah.
But I was trying to I try to have humility with it. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
It's like saying, I just made this much money because I did this and you guys didn't listen. No. I'm trying to get you guys to think for yourselves. Think
outside the box.
Outside the box from another perspective. I'm trying to help my friends win. Because I've gambled and rolled the dice and go, man, craps, right? And then people have told me to jump on it and I hesitated, craps. That opportunity, you threw a ball my way, I jumped on it. The housing, I jumped on it. And so far, I'm like, oh, that was a good move. Now, there's other opportunities I jumped on. So to answer your question, humility, I guess, I don't have a true definition other than try to send a message to somebody to empower them, share with them what you've done without you trying to make it about bragging. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right?
I know exactly what you're saying. And here's the thing. The way society has defined humility is some weird, insecure thing that someone out there made up. And what people are trying to label aggressive go-getters as not being humble is just a lack of their own fucking shortcomings. What they can't perform on, what they can't execute on, what they can't receive, what they can't execute, what they're not capable of doing. So therefore, if someone else is doing it and they're showing it to the world that, hey, this is what it feels like to win, they're going to say that person's not humble. When it's like, no, motherfucker, like that doesn't mean I'm not humble. That just means I'm showing you what the possibilities are if you open your mind and actually go to work and have a plan and execute and put your head down and not waste time.
Yeah. And I think anybody that's been successful, really successful in life and business, has to have been humbled. because you're not going to win until you fail first.
Well, like, look, Conor McGregor just bought the new $100 million Lamborghini yacht. And a whole bunch of fucking losers are saying that he's not humble, he's showing shit off, it's materialistic. No, like, first of all, the dude is probably one of the greatest marketers on the planet. And he has marketed a certain way in the MMA world that has earned him an astronomical amount of money by promoting fights the way he has. Whether he's lost or not, he walks out of fights, lose or win, 20 million plus.
Plus his brand and his
right. Him showing off his new Lamborghini yacht doesn't make him not humble. He's just showing, like, this is what my life is like now.
And is he showing it off, or is he just sharing?
Sharing.
Right.
Because for me, it's like, I want that boat.
I want that boat.
How do I get there? Well, I know how to get there. But that's what people's mentality should be. And remember, a long time ago, and a few casts ago, I had mentioned, like, if I see somebody with something crazy expensive that just looks badass, instead of me thinking that they're not humble or they're just materialistic, I'm going to be wondering, like, what type of mindset did this person have to create the outcome of that? To be that great of a promoter, what was going through his mind? How did he think to himself that if I create this much drama pre-fights, before the fights come about, when I'm promoting it, if I create X amount of drama and create this much hostility, it's going to draw so much attention that it's going to bring in 9-figure numbers.
Yeah, look at Floyd Mayweather.
Right, same thing.
And people back in the days, for example, Muhammad Ali, right? He was confident, not cocky. But back then, they thought he was cocky. Now they look at it now and they're like, oh, that
greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time. Same with Floyd. Same with Conor, right? And people, they've all failed. Conor had no car. He went and bought a car, got it repoed, right? He was training in the gym, had no money, couldn't pay his bills, and now look at him.
His girlfriend stood by his side the whole time. She was the one that pushed him out the door. Go train, go fight, go get ready. Like, you can do this. She's the one that poured the belief in him.
Yeah. And even like Mark Zuckerberg, I know he's not a fan of a lot of people, but he had 3 ideas that he implemented prior to Facebook.
He shared it with his class, and only 3 people showed up after school when they created Facebook.
Right. Before that, he had a chat bot. He had 2 other things he tried and failed. Elon Musk. Everybody has tried that's successful. You have to fail. I like people that, I tried a business and failed. One time? You only failed once? You got to fail.
You have to have more fails than you have wins to get a win.
And talk about being humble, bro. I've been in a situation where I'm like, how am I going to pay rent the next day? Back in the day, I moved down here in 2009 when the whole industry collapsed to play poker full time. My tech space was gone. I had this much overhead, no money coming in, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I got humbled quick. Very quick. And I'm like sitting there at the tables like rounders playing cash games, paying my bills with cash. But I kept fighting and I'm back, right? It's happened twice in 2001 too. So I think anybody that's successful has had humility and they're humble.
To me, my definition of humility, again, I don't really give a shit what people think of what their opinion is of me when it comes to when they say I'm not humble, because I'm obviously more the aggressor. I'm vocal. I'm not loud. I'm not loud by attention wise. I'm loud with my words to try to get a point across.
Right.
And I hit things that really feels like someone's getting gutted, and it triggers emotions. The problem is that the way I say things, I want to trigger you emotionally, but for the right reason. Instead of looking at it as a negative.
I need to get a T-shirt for you that says that.
Instead of looking at it negatively, look at it as like, holy fuck, that hurt. Why does that hurt? Self-reflect. Like, what about Sean said is making me feel this way? And do I need to change something to not feel this way? What do I need to improve on? So for me, humility, to me, has nothing to do with being aggressive or not, being an alpha or a beta, or being an introvert or an extrovert. To me, humility is knowing when you're wrong and forever having the ability and willingness to want to learn.
Be coachable.
That to me is humility. Because if you're more knowledgeable than me in something, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know more than you because I want to feel better. Like, I'm going to know better to let me fucking bow down and submit to this and know that Davrick knows more than I do, and I'm going to receive some information and knowledge from Davrick because it'll help me excel in this area, as opposed to me being arrogant about it and be like, no, there's nothing Davrick can say that I don't know. Obviously, if you try to tell me something that I specialize in, then yeah, maybe. But other than that, that's what I define as humility.
Yeah, I think society's taught that by you sharing with someone that you're not knowledgeable of it, they take it as a sign of weakness until you have the maturity to realize that that's not the case. Because, I think a lot of people feel it's a weakness if they don't know. And you see these people that know everything, but have nothing, right? The jaw jackers, right? That's what I call them. And you'll sit there and I'm practicing listening more to people and seeing through their bullshit, right? Because we've been around a minute, right? Every year you get older, you're like, ooh, I got another star. I'm that much wiser. But I have this much time less to live.
Right.
But I love not knowing. I love learning, right? I love learning new stuff.
I do
It gets
too.
me excited. And getting around somebody, it's like the gentleman I met the other day, or was trying to meet, that owns Urban Necessities. He came from nothing, and I'm watching his story, and I'm learning from him. He's very humble, very soft-spoken, very grateful, a lot of gratitude. I'm like, man, how can I learn from him? And so it inspired me, and now my son's trying to get in the same business, the sneaker broker business, and Nike and all that stuff. So he's getting around it, buying stuff, selling Nikes online, and it's like, wow, this guy I'm going to try to meet next week. His story is phenomenal, but I want to learn from him. I've been in business 3 times as long, and he's more successful. What can I do to emulate what he's done and cut the corners, cut the fat out legitimately?
Right. Now, the only time that this is my opinion, and many would probably disagree. Now, the only time that I would not want to learn from somebody, even if they do know more than me, even if they are more knowledgeable than me, if they like to fuck around in their life, and if they hang around with associations that are not so high of standards or quality values, then I don't really care to learn from somebody, right, even if they know more than I do, because I just don't want to be around that type of energy. So that would be an exception where humility would not play a factor. And it's like, well, Davrick, you fucking like to party. You like to do this. You hang around losers that don't want to excel as bad as I do in life, that aren't even excelling remotely close to what you're doing. Why aren't you teaching your friends to do better? Or why aren't you even bringing the hammer down on them and telling them to get their shit together? So therefore, I don't want to learn anything from you, because you probably aren't going to have the capacity to be able to teach me if you haven't taught your own circle how to get to where you're at.
Well, that's why my circle's small.
Even if your circle's small.
No,
imagine if you had a circle of 3-4 people. You're doing what you're doing. I know what it is. We're not going to talk about it. And if your circle of 3-4 people were doing half or less of what you were doing, and they're not doing anything to improve or change their lifestyle, or to improve their business, or improve their finances, and you're not doing anything about it either. You're not even giving them an ultimatum of like, hey, fellas, if you guys don't get your shit together, if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to put your head down and finally go to work and stop messing around, I can't be around you.
And I posted this today on Instagram. You can fuck your whole life up by having close friends who have no goals and inspirations in life. Mm-hmm. And I have friends from a distance, but as far as friends that I associate with, I think you're the only one that I associate with here in Vegas. And that's it. That's it. I mean, I have my other half, but we don't have I mean, as you get older, that narrows. You realize what you need to do, right? And I've tried to put my hand out to people. I've told 25 years, told them the same thing. Not one of them has jumped on it. I've written a roadmap out, a key to success. Here I have the last week, another person from Arizona. Dav, I want to live your lifestyle. What do I need to do? I wrote it out, plain and simple. Cut your teeth for 2 years, do this, and then go to the next step. I can give you a roadmap of what I've done and better.
Right.
Now, one person has done it. And I'm like, okay.
I got to separate myself.
Exactly. So it's me, myself, and I.
Yeah, until you meet people of your caliber.
Right. And there's one person now who's kind of came into my life that's trying to be successful and got a new company started, and he's rolling, he's going the right direction, and we're casually talking, but I got to guard my circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you prematurely let people into your circle, they could be poisonous and you don't even know it yet. And I think that happens a lot too. I think people, look, I know we all live by the whole saying of give everybody the benefit of the doubt and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you should. But at the same time, that doesn't mean don't have your guard up. That doesn't mean don't pay close attention to what they do, who they hang out with, what they're doing on the weekends. Because like you could come to me and be like this badass baller and all that stuff, and I let you into my circle, introduce you to my people, but you like to jerk around on the weekends. That when that exposes itself, I now become questionable from my circle. Like, why would Sean bring Davrick into this circle?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about something else. I know we were talking about earlier, and I'm kind of getting off topic, but we were talking about, this is gym related.
Okay.
Is that okay? Because I know we're just,
yeah, whatever.
Training partners. You know, we're working out. So I've had training partners over the years, but then I found myself liking to train by myself because of certain ways I like to train. And then I'll train with somebody else. Like, okay, that's a shock to the body, but not necessarily, like you said, want to associate with that person. So I had the same problem that you just mentioned over the years, training with somebody that I couldn't appreciate or respect their lifestyle, right? So I couldn't be training partners with them.
Right.
Does
that makes sense? 100%. Man, training, having the right training partner is so crucial. And it really boils down to, like, most people will look at a training partner to see, oh, is this person in great shape? Are they going to push me? To me, that's secondary. The first is, how intense and connected is that person with me during the workout?
Yeah.
Meaning, are they on their phone texting a lot while working out?
Right.
While it's my set, are they on their phone?
Yeah, because they could need you there for the set. If you're doing drop sets,
right.
or you're doing, you know.
Or like, are they even like in the zone? Are they as intense as I am? Do they give up easily because the first pain just comes in? All these play a very crucial role in the quality of a workout partner. Like you and I have worked out together before, not planned, spontaneously, but it's worked out. But
and it pushed me. I was sore for 3 weeks.
But and I'm in the zone with you. Like
yeah,
what you're going through, I'm right there with you.
But you're there. You're not checked out. You're not, you know.
Not half checked out either. Like I'm not checking my phone.
No, if there's
anything.
an emergency or something, or your, you know, child or somebody, I know you don't have kids,
sure.
but something happens like, hey, I got to get this, but or there's a $5 million deal. Somebody calls like, hey, Dad, love you, but I got to.
Well, because so if you're somebody that likes to pick up their phone, I got a friend that does this. If you're someone who likes to pick up their phone periodically throughout the workout, naturally and psychologically, I'm not going to go under the barbell, whether it's squatting or whether it's pressing or anything. By default, I'm not going to go to that next level that I should on pushing a certain amount of weight, because I can't risk you not being ready to catch something if something goes wrong, or get ready to spot me when I need you to.
Or distracted by other people talking to you. I mean, there's certain gyms in Vegas you go to, it's like a Hollywood celebrity night out at the club,
yeah.
Right? So you got to tell everybody, hey, I got to train, or give me a minute, you know, because
right.
I train with her. She's trying to go pro, Iris. So in December, trying to get her pro card. So when I'm with her, I have to watch,
yeah,
right, because she's, you know, and it's like somebody will come, hey, Dad, what are you doing this weekend? It's like, hey, hold on a second, man, right? So I think that goes in the same circle. Also, I add on to the part where you said association, or we talked about like, what are you doing as a person? Because I'm around that person, right? Honestly, I don't care what people think of me, but to a point, right? I don't want somebody, oh, look, they're hanging around with this person. Are they selling drugs? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? Right? So I choose my partners, but it's just been me and her, right?
Right.
And I'm pushing her more than she's pushing me. I'm not going to go pro, but I want to be in shape. But I've been doing it a while. So then her, it's like, I got to push her. I got to do this. I got to do that. Right.
Right.
So I think it's critical to get the right training partner, like you said, and somebody that's going to be focused. And a lot of times she's going to be mad when she sees this. She's got to stay off her phone. Right. I need content. No, you need to train. You can get your content after you train.
Right.
So sometimes I got to take the phone from her. Right. And just say, hey, give me your phone. Let me put it away.
Yeah. See, because it's funny. You know, it's interesting about that, because so many times that I've prepped, whether it was for a show or for a photo shoot, I'll go fast forward like 6 months afterwards, and I'll be like, man, I wish I recorded that. I'll scratch my head. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I recorded that. I wish I recorded that. I wish I took pictures of that. I wish I took a picture of that. And I'll just kind of like, and I'll have a little bit of regret, but then I'll be like, you know what? No, because I actually got to enjoy the entire purpose of that training session as opposed to being worried about getting captured on the phone.
Right.
And it does feel a little shitty because then, you know, like there's all these other people around you that are getting everything recorded.
Right.
So it just kind of needs to be one of those things where like I realized and I had the awareness to realize if I'm ever going to cut down to that point again, whether it's just because I want to or for a photo shoot, I'm just going to hire someone to literally record my entire workout. Don't say a word to me. Don't say a damn thing. Just follow me while I train.
Or even like somebody come up and do your first set of each routine, right? That's there, but not interrupt you.
But it caused a disconnect. So if I have to walk, so like for me in particular, it's because I'm an addict. When I put the weights down, I still have to stay in that zone. No conversation, no communication, no eye contact with anybody. Just stay in this place of like war. And as soon as I have to disconnect to go say, hey, Dav, can you record this for me, please? I've already lost a fraction of that intensity. And you don't get that back. You might think you do, but it's never the same.
Yeah. It's that zone, right? And I think even when I was serious, like at the competing level, I had a journal that I'd keep track of. And there might have been in a year 2 A days, but mostly B days, and then C's and D's. But to get to an A day, it's like, wow. I mean, I had a high bar, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 a year where it's like, well, that was an A day where it's like, whoa, everything was on.
Yeah.
But I'm so dialed. Like I actually will watch motivational bodybuilding, you know, Machiavelli, right?
It works sometimes, man.
And when I'm working out, I'm looking at Sean Ray or Kevin Levrone or, you know, whoever's out there. And I'd say, wow, look at these guys, right? So Dorian Yates. Yeah. So I kind of want to talk more about Dallas.
What do you want to talk about Dallas?
What's the battle plan here? I know you can only share so much, but you've been there a lot. You're doing well here. You said you want to expand, and you're trying to thinking about moving to Dallas. Is that
half and half? The ideal scenario is for me to go. It's for me to be going back and forth, 100%.
Why? What is it about Dallas other than the people? Is it the money? What is it?
It's everything all around. Like first of all, look, number one is the people. That's first and foremost. Because money, I can stay in Vegas. I can go back to California. I can really go anywhere if it's just for the money. But it's really more because of the people. Like I truly, genuinely love the people of Texas, at least Dallas, because that's the area that I go to. Like I said, everybody there genuinely wants to prosper and win together.
Do you think you're going to be there in the next couple of years?
Like permanently? Yeah.
Really? How long have you lived in Vegas?
This is my 6th year.
Yeah, you're ready to go. You've gotten everything you needed out of Vegas.
Almost. No, not yet. Almost.
You're almost there. 7-year mark gone.
I wouldn't say gone, but I'll be going back and forth. Like my mentor right now is officially 50-50 there right now. He's here. He is here he's here Sunday, from Sunday evening, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, flies out Wednesday evening to Dallas, and he got his own place. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You think you'll get a place there?
I'm already like in the process of it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one of the secrets.
That was one of the choices before moving here, that or Miami.
Yeah, that's one of the secrets right now because I do want to put myself in a position where I have to force myself to go there so that I can attract building my business out there. And if I don't put myself into that position where I take that risk, I'll procrastinate making that move. So if I keep making myself go out there and put myself in a position where it's like, okay, now I'm looking for a place. Like my mentor he's in one of the major high rises there. Second or third to last floor, only because he got it too late, because he wants one of the penthouses at the very top. And we went there a year and a half ago and looked at one of the penthouses, and we were going to pull the trigger, and he got to it just a little bit late because we looked at it right before COVID happened, before the pandemic, the shutdowns and all that stuff. And so we looked at it. We looked at 2 different penthouses, and then we looked at a floor below. And then when we came back, we were discussing. He's like, I definitely want the penthouse. I'm like, get it. I was like, I'm going to be coming back and forth anyways. And then pandemic happened, shutdowns happened, all that crap happened. And then it just kind of like fell off the priority list by accident. And then as soon as the
pandemic.
As soon as the pandemic kind of got lifted to like 50% occupancy versus when it was like 20% or 25%, he's like, hey, it's time to go back and look at Dallas. And by the time he got back to it, the penthouses were all sold out.
Wow.
So he got, like I said, he's on second or third to last, and he's on the waiting list to, as soon as one opens up, he's the first one on the list to go to the top.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah.
It's the next step.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where my eyeball is at right now too, because he's looking at the 2-bedroom penthouse. And this last time that I was there, I was like, hey, I need you to seriously consider doing the 3-bedroom penthouse because I'll for sure keep going with you on that.
There you go, man. Real estate in Dallas.
So it's that, or plus like there's a country club that has, man, the houses there are something else too. One thing I can tell you about Texas, the houses are made of stone instead of like brick and wood. And that whole stony feature, like old English type.
They're not stucco there either.
No, I love the stone look. I love it because for me it's like medieval times kind of thing, and I just love the look of the houses. It's obviously they're a lot more stable too.
And property taxes got to be low, no?
Yeah, it's just a beautiful city to be in, man. Like business there is just on a different level.
Well, it's a major city for business.
And people aren't greedy.
Vegas isn't a major city for business.
Well, here's the thing. Dallas recruited major corporations out of California and New York to come over there. So what they did was they basically paid these big-ass corporations and said, we'll give you X amount and we'll build out your offices for you if you move your business here. And that's what happened.
I think that was in the 80s or 90s. I think it was 90s. I think they did that, or 80s.
No, more recently in the 2000s.
The brick and mortar ones.
It's more now. It's more in the last like 5-10 years.
Okay.
And here's the thing too. So, him and I, every time we're there, and anywhere we go, when we have any kind of interaction with anybody, we ask every single person that we interact with, "Hey, how long have you been here?" Oh, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Fuck, I got somebody else. My Uber driver was there 40 years, has been there 40 years. And the area that he stays in, that my mentor stays in, and that I'm going to be staying in, my Uber driver's been in that area for 16 years. But we always try to see if somebody can tell us something bad or negative that they dislike about Dallas. Every single person has only great things to say about Dallas. Not just good, but great things.
That's amazing.
And I haven't tried to pull teeth. Like the guy, my Uber driver that's been there for 40 years, I try to pull teeth. I'm like, dude, there's got to be something that you would want different or changed or that you don't like about the city. Something. I know obviously the majority is great, but there's got to be something. He's like, honestly, he's like, I love everything. There's nothing that I don't like. He's like, Sean, I've been here 40 years. I watched all the cities in Dallas bloom and expand and grow from being nothing but plain fields to these mountainous buildings. He's like, I've had the privilege to watch this town blossom. He's like, and it's a beautiful thing. I see these people are gather and rally together. They want to build businesses together. He's like, I got nothing bad to say. And I was like, fuck, man. And then I called my mentor up when I got back here in Vegas, and I'm like, dude, I still can't get him. I was with my Uber driver 40 years. Can't say a bad thing. So, and we just laughed about it.
And then you got back here.
I got back here, and I was like,
"Fuck!"
You know what's funny that you said that, because this morning when I got in the car and I started driving, I was like, man, I wish I was in Dallas right now.
That's how I felt when I got here, though. But I've never been to Dallas. I've been to Texas. I've been to Houston. That's a whole. Houston is not a good representation of Texas.
No, it's not.
And I'll never go to Austin, and I won't even talk about why. But Houston's like, that's like 100% humidity. It's like a swamp.
Yeah, it's different. The weather was actually great this last week, but I've convinced you to go to Aspen, which that's on your target list. I'm going to convince you to move to Dallas at some point.
I need to go to Miami. I don't know. Dallas might be. You're probably right. And see, but here's the part.
Especially with what you do, the field that you're in,
right,
actually would mega benefit you if you went to Dallas.
Probably would.
Because of what's going on over there.
And I'm not. And here's the thing, I'm open minded. I love being here in Vegas, but I also came from a place that was not conducive for me.
Right.
My lifestyle, the way I want to live, just again, Seattle's not a bad place for the right people. It doesn't fit me. It never fit me. And if I had to choose, if California,
you grew up in the wrong town.
Exactly. I think my mom, she was born in Hollywood, right, back in the day.
Right.
You know, and so I think that came in my bloodline, right? So, but I'm open to Dallas. I want to go check it out. I might make a trip there. You'd be surprised. You might be there on a trip and see me.
Well, I actually just might have you go. I might actually have you just try to get you to meet me there.
I might fly down there with the whole crew, man. Bring my kids.
We'll be in the same hotel, and that way I can just kind of show you around and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I might bring all of them, man. Just I want to check it out. You know, I'm not opposed to it.
It's a great family place. Look, the school system is second in the country.
Well, my kids are almost. Yeah, she's only got 4 years left. I'm done.
You say only like 4 years. I mean, as fast as that's going to go, that's still a lot of years.
I don't know, man. Time's flying, man. The older I get, it's like, boom. It's been a year. I'm almost been here a year coming up.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it? August, September? Yeah, 3 months will be a year I've been here.
We still got 4 years for daughter.
Yeah, that's true. They might all be remote, too, one day.
And almost little to no crime.
And
it's so minimal.
The real estate market, I was just talking to a guy from Dallas today. Literally. I'm not joking. How funny is that? I was phone screening a candidate, a senior front-end software engineer. He's in Dallas. And we were just talking today. Cool guy. Nicest guy in the world.
Is he a natural Texan?
I don't know that. Maybe. I think so.
Okay.
But, yeah, so we were talking today about it. He said the real estate prices are going up like this. So if I'm going to buy, I better buy now.
That's definitely a good investment property there, too.
Yeah,
because there's that.
I'm concerned about inflation. I don't know what's going to happen if we're going to have a little bit of a mini recession. So I'm kind of hesitant right now.
I think we got a bigger than a mini recession coming.
Right. I think the tech space will be good this time. Okay, but I was looking at cars. I was looking at that. They're gonna kill me. So the deal fell through on that Bentley with the guy that was going to buy it. The red leather interior. You know the one I was talking about?
Yeah.
So the owner texted me this week. I haven't gone back to him. He goes, "You still interested?" The deal fell through. And then my other buddy in Seattle's got one of those high-end Mercedes, the two-door.
The S-Coupe?
No, the I don't know the other one. With the wings going.
Oh, got it. Yeah, the GT one.
GT, yeah. So he's got that. And I'm like, okay. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute. If this economy takes a poop, I don't want to be stuck with a car. Because used cars are expensive now.
The markup, I could, if I wanted to, see, I believe, and some people say this, and some people think like I'm bragging, but like, I know and I believe that I have the best Bentley in this city right now, looks and appearance wise. It still runs great,
right?
But I have the best looking one that's completely murdered out in black.
And I think you can get more for it now.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm going with that. So here's the thing. So this is the debate that I've been having in my head for the last like couple months, because I could sell the car for about 20 grand more than what I bought it for. And the thing is, like, I don't want to, because I have the one and only most unique Bentley in this city. And I know that if I go, and people say like, well, go sell it, make the 20 grand above it, and go remake the one. And I'm like, well, then I wouldn't be the only person in the city with it.
And you'd pay more for that other car, because my vehicle I leased 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's worth more than when I leased it now, because there's no used cars. The dealership wants to buy it back.
Used car market is huge.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, if I get rid of it, I got to go buy something else that's higher value.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you're in car sales, you're making a lot of money right now. Car salesmen are this is one of those times where they're making stupid money.
Yeah, but I heard the banks aren't giving loans on cars like they were.
They're not giving loans like they were. You have to be approved with certain criterias that are a lot more tighter.
It's like buying a house now.
A lot more tighter than they used to be. Yeah. They're super tight. But you know what? For a legitimate reason, because what happened was last year when they did the first set of stimulant checks, people were using their stimulus checks,
right?
Their stimulus checks to go buy cars, and then they couldn't afford it like 3, 4, 5, 6 months later. And the banks are like, holy shit, we approved all these loans for people to get into a car, and now they can't afford the car anymore. And it all turned out to be where people were just buying with their stimulus check. So it was like a honeymoon phase. They bought a new car, they can't afford it anymore, and it's got to go.
That's horrible.
And that's why the banks have tightened up their claws when it comes to loaning out for a car.
So maybe if the recession hits, then I'll be able to get a car.
Well, for you, I think because of your credentials with the things that you have under your belt to show for proof between your business, your income, all that, I think you'd probably get approved no problem.
I might just show up next to you on the freeway.
Dude, let's just take a picture with each other.
That's a nice Bentley. Hey, Sean.
Right.
I know, man. The boy in me wants it so bad, but every fiber in me is like, don't make a mistake and get it right now.
It's hit or miss. And
honestly, it's a W12. It's a V12. So that's probably the worst car to get with gas right now.
I wouldn't want a V12 unless I'm getting a super car. I don't want a V12 at all. Like unless I'm getting like a Lambo or a Ferrari, a GT or something, like I wouldn't touch a V12. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So I might just wait. I mean, hang out, see what happens, and roll the dice and try to make a smart decision. Put my money in another asset investment that's supposed to be taking off here soon that I'm waiting for. Sean.
Don't worry, I'm going to introduce you to that very soon.
There you go. So I might have to go to Dallas, like I said. I might have to get on a plane and go check it out.
Yeah.
Because if the real estate's doing what it says it's doing out there, I need to buy.
I didn't look at the prices this last time I was there, so I couldn't tell you. But I
think they're lower than here still.
They're 100% lower than here.
There's so much land, and the what is it? Not the permit. The permits. It's different than any other place where you'll drive. Like I remember in Houston, you'll be driving on the freeway. You'll see a field of corn, crops, whatever, and then all of a sudden you see this road, and there's an office building in the middle of nowhere. Because their zoning laws are totally different than anywhere else. You can literally, I want to buy that land and put a house there. Okay. It's like, well, wait a minute. There's an office building and there's a house in another office building. It's a weird situation, but there's so much land.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's inexpensive.
Yeah, the land is. I mean, even for a booming economy over there, the land is. There's so much land, dude. There's so much land. Like all I think about is like, my dogs would have a blast.
Oh yeah.
There's so much land. It's right now is a good time. Yeah. It'll be Vegas. I mean, Dallas will be like Vegas in terms of its population and housing market, where now like there's more people than there's homes right now in Vegas. Vegas is running out of homes.
Oh, there's no homes.
You're lucky if you find a home to rent right now.
Yeah, and the rents are extremely high here.
They're marked up like 20%.
So people are they're bidding on lots.
Yeah.
Before they even get the house.
Yeah.
30, 40 grand for a lot. And then here's what we're going to put here for you.
Yeah, these are those waves that people are talking about, like that are blind to when it comes to just having the ability to make really good money. You're missing these waves by just not paying attention to what's happening in the marketplace.
I kept telling people in Seattle, I said, we're thinking about moving. I said, do it now. No, we're going to wait. Everybody we're going to wait. They all do that. And that's what I was talking about. I said, no. Everybody's like, you should wait. No, I'm going to do it. I got down here, found the house, did the whole deal before I left, and now I'm thinking, wow, I wouldn't have been able to qualify for the house I'm in now because I took too many deductions.
Why do you think people have a bad relationship with money?
That's a good question. I think it's how they were raised and brought up by their parents. That's installed that in.
Okay, you think
that's save. Right. Well, millionaires and billionaires say don't save.
No, they want to they don't want more than a couple $1,000 in their bank account.
Spend it and put it into assets. And so traditionally we've been taught to go to school, get a good job, and with a good job, get an education, or get a good, with good education, go get a good job and stay broke, but save your money. That's the conservative way to do it. Not politically conservative, but that's a safe route. And so a lot of people in Seattle like to be safe.
Yeah. That's what we're taught.
And if you see the difference between someone there in Seattle and here is you'll see the money, there you won't. They'll have Birkenstocks and a Prius, and truth, and they'll be worth millions of dollars.
I think. There's a fact out there. 80% of millionaires are self-made. Only 20% it's passed down money.
Yeah, because they don't know they don't know how to make it, and they're not going to appreciate it. And most businesses that are passed down in the next generation, that it's gone.
Yeah, and that's only 20%. So that means 80% of the population of millionaires and above all did it with their own hand.
That's amazing.
That's a big number. Like, like if you're in the 7-figure plus numbers, you're in the top 0.5%. But in that top 0.5% is still a lot of people, and 80% of that 0.5% of people are all did it on their own. It wasn't passed down to them.
Yeah, it's actually one now because 758 is the top 1% income in the U.S. So if you're making $1 million, you're in the 1% group.
Okay.
It used to be like 350, and all of a sudden it jumped up to 7 something.
Well, because $100,000 is not hard to make anymore.
No.
Remember what we talked about?
Oh my gosh! Don't even go there.
$100,000 is not. Is not the new 6-figure title.
Oh, I had the math on this too. How much you need to make a day? I don't have it written down. It's such a low number.
I think it was like $300 some odd dollars. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, you need to do the math on that because it was questionably low. So we're going to do it divided by 365. Is that right?
Yeah. It's $277 a day.
Something like that, yeah.
It's $277 a day, every single day, to make $100,000. You should be doing that in your sleep.
Exactly.
In any business.
Now, if you have a job that pays minimum wage, you're not going to do it.
No, but but here's the thing. Remember what I said last time? If you have a job that pays you minimum wage and you're working your typical 8 to 4, 9 to 5 job, then what are you doing from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.?
This is where you have to break out and save. Now this is where you do have to save money to get your other side deal going from your job. You can't be working at Chick-fil-A forever, right?
Well, that's where you call that. Well, but again, I wouldn't consider that saving because I'm going to take the money that I make from my regular job and I'm going to invest it into my project.
And I know somebody that did that.
That's an investment. That's not saving.
I know somebody that did that who's 19 years old, and he's generating $70,000 a month now. He was at Chick-fil-A in high school. And he's well known among a certain vertical community in business. He's generating $70K in his first 2 months a month. So he's made $140,000
in 60 days.
In 60 days. Think about that.
Projects. But also he put his head down and went to work. He didn't go fuck off.
Oh, and if you follow his journey, he's working, traveling on the road, doing what he has to do, going to these conventions and events and coming back to his hometown, hustling. He's working.
Yeah, he's keeping his mind right.
Yeah. And that just goes to show you, anybody that wants to do something, you just have to have, we talked about it, consistency, dedication.
I think this topic is so interesting when it comes to consistency because people think if you do the same thing every single day, that comes to consistent. That only goes so far. If it's not working, you got to adjust the. Well, yeah, because that consistency every day also means there has to be improvement every single day too. You can't just say I'm going to go do the same exact thing every single day, but not actually self-reflect the previous day to improve. What did I do wrong? What did I miss? What did I fall short on? So I can do it better the next day, and then do it better the next day. So consistency every day is not just repeating the same thing. It's repeating it with improvements every single day.
Yeah.
That's going to help you get to the next level. The same thing goes with if you are inconsistent with your personality and your behavior. So you can go through the motions every single day. But if your attitude isn't right every single day, you're not going to receive. Because if I was like, oh man, I got to go fucking grind this out. I got to do this every day. Oh, it's such a burn, blah, blah, blah. If my attitude just sucks, but I'm still doing the consistent work and improvement every single day, but my attitude is poor, I'm not going to receive. Because the universe is saying, like, I have a bad attitude towards wanting to grow, evolve, and make more money. So it's not going to give it to me. Because therefore, that means I am mentally not ready for the next level. I'm not ready for the next deal. I'm not ready for the next person at that next level that's maybe going to take me there. I'm not ready to meet Davrick and have that level of a conversation because my attitude sucks.
And what I did, I wrote down 27:39 a day. That was my first goal.
27:39.
Yep, that was the magic number.
And what is that?
That's $1 million. If that's 365 days, it's $2,700.39 a day.
Got it.
That gets you to $1 million. That was my first goal, right? It's like, okay, that's doable.
Very doable.
But you have to break it down because people look at it here. And it was funny. I was just talking to somebody about this investment in a startup. And they said, I said, well, if it does this and this, I should get to $1 million, $1.8 million. They go, $1 million's not a lot of money. I go, I know. But just that one investment, that takes me to other investments, which I've already got other investments, right? But they're right. $1 million isn't anything.
It's not. But here's what I will say. Because, people say 100 grand is the hardest to get to. $1 million is the hardest to get to. Have all these numbers. Your first $1 million is the hardest out of all of them. Because here's the thing: once you hit that first $1 million, because people who think getting to 5 million and 10 million is difficult, it's really not once you hit the $1 million mark.
Yeah.
Because once you hit the $1 million mark, you have access to so many more things to put your money and spread your money. In so many places with larger lump sums, that the ROI on those is so significant. It's that it'll 10x itself over the right period of time.
Absolutely, it's like that.
But with 100 grand, music, right? I can't take 100 grand unless I'm like hardcore savvy with like stocks and investments, or like I know what I'm doing with like houses.
And you're living in a $300 apartment a month, and all you got is just two bills.
But turning 100 grand to $1 million. That's the harder part, because you only have so many options to play with. Now it can be done, but it's a longer time period.
Yeah, once you get that $1 million mark and you take that, you have a lot more.
It's fast.
It's fast.
It's super fast.
It's like, the gates open up. You've arrived.
Yeah.
Now here we go. Get ready. Put your helmet on.
Yeah, because now your conversations are about $100,000 deals, not $10,000 deals.
20, 15. Yeah.
You're doing $100,000 deals, $250,000 deals.
It's not that hard. I think people just got to get their mind out of their association and where they're at and go to the next level. Break free, people. Just break free. Get around Sean, myself, somebody else. There's people that make way more than we do that we're trying to get around and we associate with. Your mentor. Dude, the guy, I met him. He's incredible. He's amazing. And he said 3 words to me. I was like, wow, this guy's...
You can feel it.
You can feel it.
The energy's right.
Like, wow, this guy's words. It was like, wow. It was like music to my ears. I got to stay around this guy through Sean, right? So anyways, I mean, that was a good talk we had, right?
Yeah. It's we bounced around a little bit, but fun talk.
Good talk, man. I mean, we needed this one. I don't know if you call it freestyle. What do you call it?
Sure, we can say freestyle.
Shooting the shit, right?
But you know what? This helped. My mind was going a million miles an hour when we got here. It actually slowed down a little bit finally.
Sean was like this. Yeah. What? Yeah. So in closing, right? What's your message for the day? What do you want to say to the people out there that they can take home with them this week and sit on and learn from? A Sean quote.
Don't care about other people's opinions of you, and just go do what you have to do to get to the next level.
I love it. Make it happen. Make sure you subscribe to this channel.
Share with your friends and family.
Hit the like button. Help our algorithms. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good day. Dude, it's hot.